What's up, good people? David Taub here, coming to you from nextlevelguitar.com, and we've been getting lots of emails asking for a basic blues guitar lesson, so I thought I would do a little lesson about the 1-4-5 and a 1-4-5 rhythm. You've probably heard rhythms like this, all over the place, very, very common, but I think it's important to study rhythm guitar as well as lead guitar. And I think your lead guitar playing is really only ever going to be as good as your rhythm playing. And a great rhythm to start off with blues is just a simple 1-4-5 12 bar blues. Okay? So that's what I'm going to teach you today. 12 bar meaning the progression repeats, the chords go in a certain order or pattern, and if you total up the amount of measures we're going to stay on them, it's 12. And then that whole set of 12 just keeps repeating. 12 bar. There's 8 bar blues, but 12 is the most common. So what we're going to play is we're going to play a little 1-4-5. So common, so much music comes down to the 1, the 4, and the 5 chords. In the key of A, in the key of A, your A is your 1 chord, your D is the 4 chord, and the E is the 5 chord. 1, 4, 5. And what we're going to play is I'm going to play with a little pinky embellishment. And you're going to get this kind of sound. You've heard this many times. You can do it slow, you can do it fast. Doing it with a palm mute, you could do it. Did it in the key of E. I mean, it's just very, very common. And then, so I'm going to explain to you the actual number of times on each chord, and I'm going to show you up close what I'm doing. So to play a 12 bar, you're going to stay on the 1 chord or the A for 4 bars or 4 measures. And just count it off like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 8th note, that's 1 measure, 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 measures, 3 measures, 4 measures. Then after you're on the 1 chord for 4 measures, you go to the 4 chord for 2 measures. So we'll go to the D chord for 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then back to the 1 chord for 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then you got to go up to the 5 chord for 1 measure. 2 and 3 and 4. And to the 4 chord for 1 measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then back to the 1 chord for 1 measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we'll do what's called a turnaround. Well, we'll turn back around to the 1. Maybe we'll do something like this. Probably heard that a lot, where I just go from the 4 chord, then I go to the, play a half step up, or the blue note in that key, to the 5 chord, and you get that little turnaround. We could also stay on the 5 chord, because that 5 resolves so nicely to that 1. So if you add up all those amount of measures that were on each of those chords, it's 12, and that's where the 12 bar comes from. So it's the 1 chord for 4 measures, the 4 chord for 2 measures, that's 6, the 1 chord for 2 measures, that's 8, the 5 chord for 1 measure, 9, the 4 chord for 1 measure, 10, the 1 chord for 1 measure, 11, and then you could do the measure of the turnaround. 12, okay? Sounds complex, but after a while you'll just get this hang of it. And it's whenever you get together with other musicians, a lot of times it's like, let's just play a 1-4-5, because everyone knows it. It's so important. So I'll play through the whole thing, but before I do that, I want to wheel up the camera close and show you how I'm using my pinky to embellish the chords. Okay, what I'm doing to get this sound with my pinky is I'm playing, for all of these chords, I'm playing just the 5th chord, just a 2-note chord, the root and the 5th. So for the A, I'm playing 5th fret on the A, on the low E string, the A note, and the 7th fret on the A string, the E note. And then when I go to the D chord, I'm playing the 5th fret on the A string, the D note, and the A note, which is the 7th fret on the D string. And then when I go to the E chord, I'm playing the E 5th, which is the 7th fret on the A string, and the 9th fret, the B note, on the D string. 1, 4, 5. But what I'm doing is I'm skipping a fret, and then with my pinky, I'm grabbing, I'm playing that chord, which is basically, I'm just grabbing a whole step away from my 3rd finger. I'm grabbing the pinky on that A string. And that's how I get that. Down, down, down. So I'm hitting it once and then letting it up. Bop, 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 bop. And same thing on the 4 chord. Except the pinky now drops down to the D string. See, that's all that is. Same thing when I go up to the E chord. Okay? That's all that embellishment is. Now, if you're having trouble stretching to reach that note, instead of doing it in the key of A, try doing it like in the key of C or D, because down here, because the frets are closer together, the further down the neck you go. If you get it, if you can get it, use it as a stretching exercise. Eventually, move it to A and try to stretch. Then go to G. The toughest one is F, because you got to stretch the furthest. So you want to be able to do that stretch in the key of F. See, that really works the stretch here. So you really want to practice that and get that stretch down. So let's play the 12 bar in the key of A. All right? A, D, and E are the chords. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 2 measures. Here's my 4th. Switch. D chord. 2 measures. Back to the A. 2 measures. 5 chord. 4 chord. 1 measure. 1 chord. Here's a turnaround. Start all over again. And so on and so forth, okay? So try that, and then also try this turnaround. Try just staying on the 5 chord. So when you go to the end of the last few measures, when you're on the 5 chord, 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, start over. See, that time when I didn't play for the turnaround, I just went to the 5 chord and just stayed on it. Now, I'm doing this very simplistically. I'm only using all downstrokes because I just want you to get the 12 bar pattern. That's all this lesson is about, that pattern. 4 measures on the 1, 2 measures on the 4 chord, and so on and so forth. So get that pattern down and then start playing it in different keys. In G. You can even do it with a palm mute. Lay your palm right on the strings. Sound familiar? Same pattern. Right? Try it when you get good at it quicker. But get that pinky working. This is great work for the pinky, great stretch, great embellishment, and it's just a simple 1-4-5 that every guitar player should have in their arsenal. Okay? Nothing groundbreaking, but very important. So enjoy that, get that 1-4-5 pattern down, jam with your friends, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Rock on.